I would just love, and I don't know how you would figure it out, but wouldn't you do you have even curiosity as to what the mindset truly is to truly have that kind of racial hate?
No. Because I personally don't. I mean, I don't like the behavior of some people, but it's never drawn on racial lines. It's not, I'll bet you he's a nigger, or I'll bet you he's a this, or, because it's not that. It's behavior with me, and I've made that very clear on the show. So to have racial hate.
No, I'm not saying to have it. I'm saying to understand it.
No, I don't understand it either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Would you, if there was a way that you could almost Spock mind meld with one of these fucking guys to where you could really understand, see what they think, and try and understand it, would you do it? Not turn into it.
Oh yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I would like to understand it. I would like to know what people are so enraged about, or afraid of, or threatened by. I'd like to know what threatens them to the point to where they feel that they need to strike back like that.
Because, we goof on race all the time, I think, because we think that the hypocrisy is beyond out of control with it. But, there's people that are really, really, they cannot fathom that a black hand might have washed their fork. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If they... And it's that kind of, to me, that kind of craziness that, they'd be willing to eat in a restaurant until they saw that the chef was a black guy.
Sure.
And they would literally get up and leave because they don't want to spook on their steak or whatever.
Right.
And I, for the life of me, cannot understand how you just make immediate judgments on anybody without seeing them be a twat. Without seeing that individual be a twat.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's me being naive. I don't know. Maybe I don't have any. I've never, especially in the military, I guess, you deal with a lot of different races, probably more than just about any other job. Because in that, it's you don't really have a choice. In the military, especially in basic training, you're thrown in a room, and it doesn't mean dick. You know how we talk sometimes about if you put 5 groups of people all together in a room within an hour, they would all segregate by themselves.
Yeah, they would gravitate toward their own.
Right. Not like that in the military. In the military, you don't have that option. When you're in basic training, we're all green, and we're going to fucking work.
Sure.
And that's it. And we had, and I can only speak for mine, my 6 weeks of basic training, we had no racial stuff. Not one single racial fight, not one, hey nigger, what are you doing type of a moment. None of that shit. And I think maybe because I think maybe that's why I'm so I'll judge everybody individually, because I had to, I learned from, especially being in the military, to just deal with all races and be around all races and have fun with all races. Really.
Sure.
So I don't know. I just can't understand. We read a million of these stories, and safe to say we've done 1,000 of these kind of stories, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And I, to this day, do not understand pure racism any more than the first time we did one of these stories.
I always, when especially lately, especially with all this, the whole Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, and these police incidences and whatnot, and people coming out, especially these people who are commentators, right? Basically just categorizing everything as racism. Everything is racism. No matter what it is, it's racism. It's just like when these commentators or these reporters or these op-ed people start keying in on behavior characteristics that get your attention and that seem to follow just certain groups of people in a certain way.
Right.
It's like, stop that activity. Stop doing that.
Yeah. Well, and I've said this before on the show. I personally believe that racism is just lazyism, really, because people that are racist, they put everybody into a group, whatever that group is, and they just judge them all. When it's 100% of the time, it's wrong. Any race, you make any statement about any race, and you're wrong. You know, all black guys are lazy. Only takes me 2 seconds to find one that's not, and then you're fucking wrong.
Right.
You know, so it's all the problem is that there's no money to be made out of judging individuals.
Yeah, of course, because everything is advertising driven these days.
Yeah, I mean, Black Lives Matters made money because George Soros funded that. He funded that movement.
Sure.
He did. But really what should have gone down was, what's his name? Was it Darren Wilson? That's what started that?
Yeah.
The Wilson, Mike Brown shooting?
Yeah, over there in Ferguson, yeah.
Yeah. They should have had the police officer's investigation, which they did, and had he been found guilty, then be pissed. You know, not burn your town down, but, you know, see to it that this guy gets the justice that he should have gotten, which it looks like he did. Nothing.
Well, but see, here's the thing. Even though a lot of these cases go to like a grand jury or go to some kind of trial or go to, you know, and maybe the policeman is let off or not found guilty or whatever, they're still pissed because they feel that whatever the trial is, the trial procedure that it went through, it didn't render the results that they wanted. So therefore, the trial process was illegitimate because it didn't render the verdict that they wanted.
Well, but what is it in them that makes them think that their opinion is more valuable than anybody else's?
Well, because they feel, again, or believe that justice is not being served. You know, and until they can string somebody up or lynch somebody in the public square, justice will never be served. If somebody is found not guilty on something that they feel aggrieved about or whatnot, and it doesn't come out that way, it's just like this. It's just like that whole thing that started with that Michael Brown, where they were saying that hands up, don't shoot. Right. Even though that didn't happen. Yeah. They still preach that as if that is fact. Right. You know, no, and they go, well, Michael Brown wasn't armed and he just stood there and had his hands up. And he goes, hands up, don't shoot. And the cop just executed him right there on the spot. What do you think of the one this week? Did you see that one? Which one, about the Baltimore? The I don't know where it was, the therapist and the autistic guy. Oh yeah, I heard that the cop said he was aiming at the autistic guy and he missed. That's a bad one. Yeah, that is a bad one, and that's not to say and that he should do time for that. Yeah, and he may. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, everything is subjective. When you're not there seems to be, you know, a different angle, or I don't know. I try to stay out of those debates because when I'm not there and I didn't see it myself, yeah. I mean, I won't get involved with that. But my point is that in the Michael Brown shooting, right? The overall overwhelming thought process is, well, he was just doing nothing. He wasn't doing it. He was just walking along the street, minding his own business. The cop was harassing him. He just raised his hand and said, don't shoot. And the cop just pulled his gun out and shot him anyway. Right. I mean, if you were to talk to, you know, any one of these people, they believe that. Mm-hmm. But of course, there was more to the story, and this whole hands up, don't shoot never happened. Right. But exactly. but they preach it as if that's exactly what happened. Yeah. Well, yeah, the narrative grew bigger than the facts. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I don't even get into those discussions because, number one, I wasn't there. Number two, I didn't see it. You don't know what goes through people's minds when they're faced with certain circumstances. So I don't know. I'm not a cop. I've never been in that situation. But then again, I've never been harassed. Well, I can't say I haven't been harassed by the cops because I have, but I've always complied. Mm-hmm. I never became combative. And here's the thing. I read a story. I can't remember. It was just this week. Mm-hmm. And some black guy was complaining that, well, I was just parked out in front of somebody's house or in front of such and such, just reading a book, and some cop came up and asked me what I was doing there. Right. That's happened to me. I've been parked in my car places, and I've had a cop come up and bang on my window and ask me what I was doing there.
Sure.
That's happened to me on at least 4 different occasions.
That happened I think I told that story on the air. I was getting a blowjob from my girlfriend in high school, and the cop stopped it. But we were just parked in a park.
Yeah.
And we weren't we weren't doing, I guess we were illegal, but, we weren't illegally parked. But the cops still came up to see what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah. Well, I was coming back. I was coming back from Cleveland one evening, and I was coming down Route 8. Mm-hmm. It came off at 271 and Route 8. Mm-hmm. And you remember where I used to live down in Akron?
Yeah.
Well, I was about 20 minutes from home.
Okay.
I was so tired.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was so tired. I felt like I was going to drive off the road.
Right.
So I got down there to Macedonia.
Okay.
And there was a hotel. I don't remember which one it was, but there was a hotel there. So I just pulled in the parking lot and parked and shut the car off and tilted the seat back and closed my eyes because I was so tired I couldn't drive anymore.
You're trying to catch a half hour and then make it home.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Not 10 minutes later, a cop was banging on my window. What are you doing there?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm sleeping.
Yeah, well, I told him. I said, listen, I was just tired. I felt so tired I couldn't make it home. I live down here. Here's my driver's license, And, of course, he's asking me, were you drinking or anything, which I wasn't.
Right.
I told him no. I was just tired. I worked, I got up at 5 this morning. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm almost been up 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm just tired. I couldn't drive anymore. I'd rather stop and be safe than drive off the road.
Right.
And they said, okay, let me loose.
Yeah.
Then there was another time when I was coming home from I was away for a couple of days, and this was when I was dating a gal that you are aware of, and she met up with me, and because I hadn't seen her in a few days, we went out to make out somewhere.
Okay.
All right. And we were in this cul-de-sac, and we weren't there but 10 minutes, and a cop rolled up and banged on the window saying, what are you doing here? And it's like, oh, well, I haven't seen her in a week or, whatever. And we were making out. That's what we were doing. I mean, we weren't undressed or nothing. We were just, and he says, oh, well, some of the neighbors called here and were concerned about a strange car.
Okay.
But I didn't go, you're harassing me because I'm a black man.
Oh.
I was in a strange neighborhood. I didn't belong there. I was parked on the street in somebody's house, and they called the cops.
Right.
But I didn't think anything of it. I didn't feel like I was being singled out.
Well, who complains the most about being victimized by the police, right? People that commit crimes.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Those of us that don't really commit a lot of crimes, we don't worry about the police.
No. And there's been other times where I've just been parked on the side of the road, like along a curb or something. Mm-hmm. Like waiting on somebody or making a phone call or something, and I might have been there too long, and I'll have a cop come up and bang on the window. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody said there's a strange car parked out here on the street.
Yeah. I've had that once or twice just in the last year where, if I get a phone call or something, and it's something that I have to kind of concentrate on or it's important, I'll pull off on the side of the road,
sure,
on the highway, and I'll take the phone call. And And for I had that maybe 3 months ago. I had a call where I had to kind of talk somebody through some computer shit, how to fix something. And so I pulled off the road and I was talking them through, and it was rather extensive what I had to talk them through. And sure as shit, I fucking got a knock on my window from a cop.
Sure.
That rolled up behind me. He was like, "What are you doing? Are you broken down?" I was like, "No, I'm on the phone." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And he got back in his car and rolled away.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even ask me for a license or nothing.
Right.
He just was like, "Oh, all right, cool." So, yeah, if you don't commit crimes, they don't really give you a hassle.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you talk to our cop friend at my party?
Yes.
Wasn't it scary how I'm going to set this up. I'm not going to say who it is, and I don't think he ever has when he's been in the chat room either, so we'll leave that there. But our cop friend is a black cop, and he's what, 6'4" or 5"?
Yeah, he's definitely taller than me.
He's a big man.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot even, and he's towers over me.
Well,
so
he might even be 6'6", 6'7". He's a big guy. And I asked him about, what's his sense out on the street these days.
Mm-hmm.
And his answer was that he is scared day to day.
Sure.
But not scared like, man, I don't want to go to work. I'm afraid to do my job. Scared like, if I do my job, if I do everything right, I could still go to prison.
Sure.
And I was like, man, that is so fucked up.
It is. I agree.
How do you go to work every day knowing that that's what you have, what you have to look forward to?
Well, but see, that leads into what's going on here in Chicago every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Chicago police, there's a lot of them,
right?
And a lot of this crime is going on, but they're not intervening because of the problems that have come up with cell phone people, immediately filming you. And so these guys are just like, you know what? Fuck that. Go ahead and shoot each other and kill each other. And then when you're done shooting and stuff, then we'll come in and we'll just, investigate the scene.
Yeah, we'll mark the bullets and set it up for the detectives.
Yeah. But I'm not going to intervene and have somebody with a stupid cell phone, filming my every move and racist.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
So it's just like, we're not going to do anything. So they got this apathetic attitude that, I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to intervene.
Yeah. The worst is, are there bad cops? Of course there are.
Of course there are.
But how many cops do you think you know?
I know 3 personally.
Okay. I know more than that. I probably know about 10.
I know 3.
Because a lot of them I got to know because of my friend Josh that was killed, 1,000 feet from my house. But, I know many cops, and I've never encountered one of them, even when we're just all hanging out drinking or whatever, where you're out drinking or whatever and the true feelings come out type thing. And it's never been, man, I can't wait to hit the street and fucking break somebody's fucking skull. They always, when you talk to cops off the cuff, and maybe they talk about shit that they've done amongst themselves, but when they're out and about, if you ask them about their job, they either don't want to talk about it or they always are like, man, this is a tough job, but that's as far as they go.
Sure. Absolutely.
They do not seem, it doesn't seem like if I was doing their job, that's why I could never be a cop. If I was doing their job, I would be fucking livid every day, especially now when I watch what's going on right now. I would be a candidate to be a bad cop because I would just hear this shit over and over and these cops fucking yelling and spitting in your face and whatever. And the first time that happened to me, I know I would pull the club and just beat the shit out of somebody. Because I don't know if you agree or not, but they deserve to have the shit beat out of them. When they're like spitting in people's face and stuff.
Sure.
Fuck that. When you disrespect a person to that level, you know what? If you get a bullet, tough shit, you earned it.
Right.
But again, it goes to what we always talk about in this fucking current culture, where everybody's entitled, everybody thinks that they can do whatever the fuck they want, and there's no consequence for it. This fucking sucks, man.
I agree.
Sucky.